All right, everybody. I have a very special episode of Wicked today. I have been really thinking about opening up my platform to women and shifting gear. Yes, of course, I'll still be coming on here teaching, but I've really had it in my heart to be giving this platform to women to speak out on their experiences, especially within domestic violence and the court systems. The system that is structured right now is everything against the female. And I don't care what you've been told until you've actually navigated this system, you do not know the truth of it. And it is insanely healing for women to be able to tell their stories. And it's also preventative so that other women can hear other women talk about their stories and they know what to look for so that they know how to reach out for help and they can know what to do in these situations. There's so many women that suffer in silence and they never truly heal the trauma because we are so outside of community right now. The whole thing that I have been trying to build is a community of women to come together. I know that I would not have survived the last 2 years without my community, which is insanely small. The women that have come to bat for me spiritually, emotionally, financially, physically have helped me in so many ways. And I just want to keep giving that back. Women cannot stay silent anymore. We cannot suffer in silence. And we need to make this a known thing and stop listening to the system, bash us, and put us down and have fear of speaking out. Every time I make a post on social media, or every time I even see one of another woman talking about her abuse, there's always people in the comments. You should have chosen better. You should have. Why are women being blamed for male behavior? Male on women violence is so much more prevalent than you think. It's not just even physical, it's emotional, it's mental, it's financial. And no abuse is worse than any other ones. And I know a lot of women don't want to speak out just because they weren't physically abused. But it's so much more than that. And the only way to get all of this to change is to tell our stories so that other women can hear it and so that we know what to look for, but also so that patterns can start breaking and this can be exposed. It's time for change to happen. And to do that, we have to have a mic. We have to start talking. So I have some amazing interviews lined up going forward, and I'm really excited for this integration of this new part of Wicked and this new chapter of Wicked. So this is going to be season 2 of Wicked. And I'm so grateful to all the women that are going to participate and for all of those listening. And I hope that we can help in some type of way through getting this information out there. When women dare to fully be themselves, to rise up as the divine beings they are, to operate in their magic, their sexuality, their power, they are always labeled one thing: wicked. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Wicked. I have a very special guest today. This is Whitley, and I want her to have the mic today to share her story. I have been in the works of shifting some of the podcast content to doing more interviews with women who have survived domestic violence, who have survived the court systems, so that they can have a platform and a microphone to share their stories. There's so much more women than you think that go through this and have to deal with trauma by themselves, and they shouldn't have to. And there's something very healing about just telling your story. And I think the more women aren't afraid to speak anymore, that when we start actually telling our stories, this is how we help other women to come forward. This is how we help to connect. This is how we help to heal ourselves and others. And this is how we start to form community again, because this is what women need. We need community desperately. We need to start coming together, and we need to stop buying into the bullshit narrative that women need to hate each other and that we're always just out for gossip and stabbing each other in the back. It's a false narrative, and it's something that we need to step out of as a collective and start holding each other up, because women are powerful on their own, yes, but together we are unstoppable, and the system knows that. It's why they try so hard to silence us and keep us apart. So today, I actually met Whitley through Instagram, and I started following her page like years ago, a couple years ago, I think. And I don't know, she always pops up on my feed and stuff, and I see the healings that she does. And I think I saw you do some like sound bowl ceremonies recently. And as I had been thinking about like, should I open my mic for the podcast for this, she actually posted about how she survived a severe DV case and just some of the details in the post. And I was like, I'm gonna interview her. And so I like reached out. And I was super nervous because I'm like, hey, this is it. If I do this and she says yes, I'm changing everything, you know? And today is the new moon. So it's obviously a big deal, and you have your birthday coming up, so this is like, um, so maybe this can be the start of something just amazing. So I'm honored to have you as my first guest to do this, and I thank you for being brave enough to come forward and share your story. And there's this. There's a heavy energy just in coming forward and being willing to talk about it when something's being made public, because when you fear for your life, and when you fear the court system, you know that anything you say as a woman will be manipulated, turned against you. You will be made to look crazy in any way. I mean, it's been that way even in the medical system for hundreds, thousands of years. And so there's this, even me, it's been 2 years, and like I get so afraid to say one thing because I'm like, what if the wrong person sees this and they manipulate my words and it's used against me, and then they try to take my kid. There's just a whole trail of thoughts, and it's a burden that we carry around, and then that's what keeps us silent. It's what keeps us from talking. And I decided I'm going to face that fear. And I'm going to also help to support other women face that fear, because they're not going to shut all of us up anymore. It's just not going to happen. So I'm going to hand the mic over to Whitley. So if you just want to introduce yourself a little bit, and you can talk about your business, of course, and then we'll get into your story a little bit.
Okay. Ooh.
Already in tears, I know, girl.
Hi, baby. My oldest just came down the stairs.
Okay.
Oh, let me calm myself and
Yes,
ground
of
myself.
course.
Thank you so much for this platform. Thank you so much for reaching out to me. As you were speaking, nothing but spirit and chills. This is what we're meant to do. This is
Yes.
what we're supposed to do. And so thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
Okay, my name is Whitley D. English, and I am a mother of a 15-year-old daughter and a 19-month-old daughter. I'm an Asheville native, born and raised, and my business is a response because of what happened to me. I am a survivor of what they call intimate partner violence, IPV. Sounds like a STD, right?
Yeah.
But yes, it was intimate partner violence. I dated someone for only 3 months, left him alone for a month, but during those 3 months, there were so many signs, so many red flags, so many lights that came on to tell me, like, you don't need to deal with him. And we don't know who people are. We can deal with somebody for years and don't know their true colors. So
Yep.
I was really, really lucky to only had dated him for a short amount of time. And then the evidence that I had that he threatened me before, prior, months prior, that's premeditated murder.
Yeah.
But because I had intimate relationships with him, it was his word against mine, and we had to do the due process through the judicial system.
Hmm.
But what was so scary and frightening, he was caught by the police discarding of my body in the backseat of his car, and he was let out 48 hours later on a bond. They gave him a bond after he maliciously, violently almost beat me to death. My front tooth was knocked out of my mouth from him smashing my head into a hood of a car. but he physically beat me with his fist. I'm 5'2", 120. He was 6'2", 255 pounds. And they gave him a bond after that assault.
This is why, okay, let me let me back up because I do want to get into this whole story and then I'm gonna start ranting.
No,
You know?
this is your platform.
Yes.
Speak as you need.
Okay. So one of the main things that always gets me when I see women when they do try and share their stories and come public is this idea of you should have chosen better or the self-blame women put on their self saying I attract the wrong person. When there is an overwhelming amount of women who are meeting men and within a couple months, just like you, there's there's flags, there's things that are there so you try and leave, but then this happens anyway. This isn't about self-blame of I'm drawing this in. This is the fact that unfortunately the majority of men are like this. And this is like a parasite in the system. There are more bad men out there than good. I didn't want to believe that for a very long time. I wanted to believe that bad men were a minority, but of course, that's when also I was in isolation and not talking to tons of women all the time. And the more I talk to women and the more I even witness even married couples that are still in that like oh yeah, no, we're happily married, but then I'm watching the interactions and I'm seeing the energy and I'm just like, no, it really is most men. Like this is really terrible. And I want to the whole blaming women for malbehavior has to stop. So when you like how did you meet this person and I always say there's like that 3 month. I was actually just talking about this on TikTok yesterday of like there's that 3 month phase where there's the romance and they call it love bombing and stuff like that. And so they put on a really good show. No man is going to walk up to you and be like, hey, I'm a narcissistic abuser. I actually low key hate women and I plan on beating your ass in like 6 months to a year. No, that doesn't happen. They don't come out and say all their problems. Men openly admit this, that they put on a show to get you and they don't feel like they should have to keep putting up that show and then are mad when you leave. And then when we heal and we start having really high standards, we're yelled at for that too as women. Oh, well, you're going to end up alone because your standards are too high. Good, then we'll be alone. Why would I? So you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. But I want to take some time to cover how he presented himself, how you met him, just because it's important to know that men don't present themselves as abusers.
Very charming,
Yeah.
beautiful, beautiful smile, dressed nice. It's always a facade, it's always a mask. And then other people couldn't believe what he had done. Like, I've never seen him that angry. Or the first things was, what did you do? What did you do? But yes, the gifts, the opening doors, just the love bombing. That's really a number one sign. Like we haven't even been in a relationship this long and you wanna they're predators.
Hmm.
They seen someone loving and vulnerable and they think that I mean I guess he took me as a easy target.
Hmm. The
But
hard thing is like you don't know if someone's love bombing or genuinely wanting to care for you, or there's no way in the beginning to really discern between that.
and it's hurt, like you said, it's a lot of men who's really broken and unhealed. And it comes down to the mother father wounds.
Hmm.
And not to say it's their fault, but just like how the system is, everyone's programmed in a certain way.
Hmm.
And so to me, I feel like the Black community, they've programmed Black men to kill Black women or women in general.
Hmm.
And so I left him alone because he was jealous of me sleeping in we were at his house one night. It was his apartment, and was laying in the bed with my daughter. And when I got up to go get in the bed with him, he had locked me out of his room. And to me, immediately it was like, you're jealous that I'm laying in the bed with my child? And so that next morning, I didn't even have a conversation with him. I just said, can you take us home? And we didn't have any conversation in the car. He dropped us off. And hadn't talked to him for a whole month. And then one night that I got off of work downtown, I wasn't driving at the time. I had to go walk to the ATM to put money in the ATM to get a lift home. And lo and behold, he was at the ATM. I didn't put two and two together at the time, but he was stalking me. He
Wow.
gave me a ride home. Nothing happened, but I let him give me a ride home because I mean, a coincidence. You're at the same place I am. It's dark. I just got off of work. I'm tired.
Yeah.
I need a ride home. So I was talked about that. Why would you get in the car with him? Like all these
But like,
things.
it's not like there was something to make you think he would harm you physically. So this is the thing. Like you,
But let's get to the details. He did text me prior to the assault and told me I was the type of bitch to get off out to be off in a ditch. So I didn't take that message as a life-threatening message, but he meant what he had said. Okay, so he took me home, dropped me off, and left. And I hadn't talked to him in a month. So by him giving me the ride and dropping me off was opening up the door for communication. He texted me the same night after he dropped me off. He said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Nothing. I'm at home. Just got comfortable. Got like, what are you doing? I'm bored. Let's go to out to a bar. Being vulnerable. Let's just go out to a bar." And I'm grateful that I told him, let's go out to a bar because this was in a public space.
yeah.
So in the nightclub that night, he was flirting with other women. Just, I felt disrespected. So after the end of the night, we were going back to the car. I asked him if I could get my stuff out of his car because I wasn't leaving with him. And that's when he started bear hugging me, wouldn't let me walk away, wouldn't let me leave. And he was telling me as he was bear hugging me, "What are you so upset for? You said we're not in a relationship," like just taunting me.
Hmm.
But I don't remember the initial hit, but I had called my cousin to ask her to come pick me up. And I guess he didn't know who I was on the phone with. And so as I got up to go walk to the gas station to get picked up, I believe he struck me. He started beating me to death outside of a club that was just let out. There's people everywhere.
Nobody stopped.
Nobody stopped it. But three white men, white males, went and knocked on the police car that was sitting in front of the club with their lights on. It wasn't loud lights, but you know how they have the lights on.
Yeah.
He attacked me in public and didn't care.
Oh my
But
God.
the police ran up to him, putting my unconscious body in the backseat of his car. And when they ran up to him, they told him to drop her. So it's all on their body. And he was let out on a bond 48 hours later.
So I want to talk about and address, because I know viewers listening or watching this will come up. When you go through a phase of love bombing with somebody, it psychologically gets in your head that this person is safe and truly loved you. And there's hormones and chemicals that are released during that time period. And even when you make the decision to leave, when that person reappears, it's not like there's this immediate, um, like, I need to run. You know what I mean? Because we're like groomed at a young age for of boys will be boys. And one of the things that I've learned over the past couple years is that when they say they're going to hit you, listen. When they say they're going to kill you, listen. And I just said this to somebody the other day when they were like, "Oh yeah, such and such just told me if I talk to him like that and he's gonna punch me in the fucking mouth." I'm like, believe him. because we are raised to not take it seriously. Like that's just how men talk. That's boys will be boys. When they pick on you, they like you.
They
And
didn't mean it. They didn't mean it. They love
exactly.
you.
Exactly. And so we are gaslit our whole life to not believe that until it's too late and it happens and it's like, "Oh, that was real. They really did mean that." And I think that it's really important to highlight this to always believe a man when they say something because they are speaking it, they are speaking it. Um, I not to veer to my story, but I want to mention this in my own look when I had to go file the restraining order and my woman's advocate kept asking me, was there any other time that you feared for your life? I still get mad at myself for not bringing up the time when it was a couple weeks before the incident happened where I was walking into the house and he pulled his AR out
Mm.
and he shined the stream light in my face so I was blinded and I couldn't even see what he was doing. And he was pointing it at me and he said, "Oh, I thought you were somebody breaking in." And when I expressed that I was scared, I was made to feel stupid. Like, "Oh, you know me, I'm just trying to protect the house." Because he was the one that always was like, "I'm the protector," right? He used to be in the military, all of that. And then the next day was still laughing about it and told one of his friends, and then his friend was laughing about it. So I'm thinking I'm the dumb one, like you know what I mean? And so like we gaslight ourselves. We are literally like ingrained to gaslight ourselves. So anybody listening to this, like especially the women, like if a man starts speaking anything of violence, anything or does any action like that, like just believe them. Believe them that they hate you. Believe them that they want to hurt you. Like there is no, "Oh, you just are kids at the playground and that's how boys flirt." They don't flirt like that because I also know very healthy men and when they flirt with women, it doesn't look like that. So I just want to say that. Okay, so he attacked you in public, and amazing bystanders did fucking nothing. Um, police, okay, let me just. I want to know when men are going to start holding other men accountable. I want to know when it's going to come back where like when a man is attacking a woman, the men that do the right thing go and beat that man's ass. When is that going to start happening? Like there needs to be something within the male community that is away from women because it is not our job to heal men. It's not our job to figure out where they're emotionally, their trauma. I don't fucking care about men. Men need to care about each other and they need to go figure out what the fuck is happening right now and go fix it. It's not our job as women, and this is what it's defaulting to right now because we're getting in these relationships, and because we're nurturing and caring, we naturally do that. This is what we do as women. It's in us to do that, but it's not in men to absorb that. Only the ones that want to. It has to be a conscious choice. So we end up in these relationships thinking like, "Oh, well, I heal, so they're going to do it too." No,
No.
no,
So let's go back to it's not our jobs to heal men.
yes,
As a woman, as a loving partner, you want to do all you can.
mm-hmm,
But I was told you can't you can't be your partner's healer.
nope,
You can't be anyone's healer. You can
nope,
only heal yourself. But at
exactly,
the end of the day, it goes down to we should vet the people that we date better. Um, we should vet the people that we date better. It's basically I feel like other men don't get in the middle of it because sometimes women allow the abuse because they don't walk away or step up for themselves. And I've seen that. So it's really a real sticky, nasty situation, but a man beating on a woman is wrong.
exactly,
A man talking down that like abuse doesn't have to be physical. Let's get
exactly.
real. It can be financial, it can be
Yep.
emotional, it can be verbal.
And usually all of that comes first. You know what I mean? It doesn't always go straight into physical abuse. And I also want to say, because I do have other women lined up to come on here, and some of them they feel like just because they weren't physically abused that they weren't abused. But that is not true. Like the psychological manipulation and warfare and emotional abuse and financial abuse that goes on with women is absolutely insane. And
And
unfortunately, it's like a dime a dozen.
and the system knows that.
Hmm.
And if you don't have money, if you don't have ranking,
Yep.
resources,
You're
it's your word,
screwed.
it's your word against theirs.
Yep. Um, do you feel like there was any, so in that short period you were dating, so there was a lot of love bombing going on. Was there ever, um, moments where it was like sitting in your body where you're like, this feels off, but like how he was presenting didn't align with what you were feeling, so you excused it?
Of course.
Is there any,
My
yeah, can you
my
talk about it a
body,
little bit?
my body, I knew something was off. Just couldn't put my finger on it. But that's the woman's intuition. That's your
Yes.
gut instinct. Listen to it, ladies. It's not,
Yep.
it's our compass, it's our guidance system. We
Yes.
have to listen to it and honor it because if we don't, we end up in situations like we end up in.
Yeah. And um one of my biggest issues with like basically relearning to trust my body was I realized in my relationships when I was getting that feeling, I was blaming my own trauma. Like, oh, well, that's just my trauma, not liking whatever is I'm afraid of love. I'm afraid of receiving all of these stupid things that go through our head again, where women blame themselves instead of listening to the intuition. And so when I was going through my own process with like realizing like, no, this is like my body's been telling me the whole time. I think that's such an important thing that like when you get that feeling, even if it doesn't line up with the show that they're putting on, because that's what happens. You have a weird feeling, but logically, what you're seeing doesn't make sense because it doesn't align with what your body is saying. But as a woman, like that is our intuition, like our intuition's in our womb space and that runs our body. So we have to learn to listen to that and not blame ourselves or our trauma for anything, you know?
Definitely.
So, okay, um you got beat up in public. Cops have body cam footage of basically this man putting your lifeless body into the back seat of his vehicle. All these people just witnessed it happen. And then what happens?
Um, I wake up, I come to, I come back to consciousness. I'm sitting on the curb, talking to the police officer. Long story short, they escort me into the ambulance. And I had my phone on me. I guess all my things, all my belongings, someone gathered them up and gave them to me. But something in the ambulance told me to take my phone out and take photos. So I took photos of myself by myself on the ambulance.
Good.
And at the time they weren't able to find my tooth. So when I got to the hospital, they did CAT scan, all that. They said I didn't need cosmetic surgery, thank God. But have you ever heard of the story Emmett Till?
No.
Look it up, y'all. He was a 15-year-old black boy who was murdered, and his body was found brutally beaten um, days later after he was assaulted. They said that he whistled at a white woman at a store, and basically some white men beat him to death, but he was unrecognizable. I was unrecognizable, but I walked out of the hospital the same night. So I had multiple facial fractures, two black eyes, a broken nose, and a missing tooth. This is my partial, my little baby. I've had so many problems with these things. Every time I lose one, I got to pay $400. Thank God for insurance, but $400 for one little tooth. But I got a consultation um, when it first happened, and even I just redid it again. And so let's talk about healthcare and bills.
Yeah.
My implant consultation costs $11,000 for one tooth.
For just a consultation.
Well, that's what well, it was $500 for the x-ray. I had to pay 530 something dollars for an x-ray to tell me that it's going to cost $11,000 to get an implant. And so During all of that, I even applied for NC victims compensation as a victim, a tax-paying mother, hard worker. I was denied. And so I had to wait a year, reappeal. They sent me $800. That wasn't even the wages that I missed from work. And 3 weeks after the assault, I had finally gained the courage to go file a restraining order. And what I was denied was an ex parte. The ex parte is an immediate protective order.
Mhm.
The judge felt like I waited too long for it to be an immediate protective order. He told me to my face, I don't think you fear for your life because what took you so long to come up here?
With
Every
your face
every
still swollen,
black eyes, wired
body
mouth.
cam footage, all of this shit.
The police report stated that I said that he tried to kill me. It's just like if you don't have the courage to go speak up for yourself and show up for yourself, just you got to deal with whatever has been given to you.
And here's the thing that never even gets taken into account. It's like, so you were just beat unconscious and they want you in the courtroom the next day. Like, do you know what it even takes to get out of bed? Like when you are in, like you have physical trauma, but even the psychological trauma of what just happened, to even feel comfortable and then go through the thought process of, do I want to actually go through with this and go to court? Because women know, like if you've even heard of stories of women navigating the system, how fucking scary that is. And then you're thinking about, there's a man out there who wants to kill me. If I go to court to try to file anything and then he has to show up and I got to look at him again, and then is that going to make my life on that? Because at the end of the day, what is a piece of paper gonna fucking do? If he's at your front door, are you just gonna go like this? Like, oh, well, I have this. Are you gonna hit them with the piece of paper? No, it just stay it you just tell them when you call 911 and then 911 has to get there and that can be too late.
But it is paper trail if we have to protect ourselves
Yes.
to whatever measures. But it's still fucking paper. It's time and
Right. And
resources.
and so to say, well, you should have been here the next fucking morning. You know what I mean? It's like, no, because as women, this is what goes through our head before we get the courage to actually go and do it. There's so
So
much
listen,
behind
so,
it.
so listen, the shelter that's within the system, the judicial system that helps with women, one of their advocates, I don't know her position, I forgot, but doesn't matter. What she said, I understand the reason why he did not grant you the ex parte. It made sense to her why I wasn't given an ex parte. This podcast would have to be like 48 hours to really go through the story. So let me break it down for you. He was basically charged with two charges: second-degree kidnapping and felony assault. They did up the second-degree kidnapping to first-degree kidnapping. So the charges was first-degree kidnapping and felony assault. Long story short, he was let out on three different bonds, bail bonds, costing up to $75,000 that he was let out to be free the whole 2 years that I was fighting for my justice in the court system. And I was denied NC victims compensation, had to wait a year, and
Oh
then was
my
just sent
God.
$800. So they made $75,000 off the assault of what happened to just me, one person. And so what's crazy, the day that they gave me the trial was the same day he attacked me 2 years prior.
Wow.
But I didn't want to take it to trial because I already seen what this system does.
Yeah.
Even though I got all the evidence, I didn't trust going on stand and letting them degrade me
Yep.
and tell me what I went through was invalid.
Yep.
But by him taking the plea, he admitted to what he did. And so next year he returns home because he served his time. 6 years, 10 months was all he was given. And they
For
told
almost
me,
killing you.
and they told me I let my restraining order lapse. So he has to do something to initiate that I need another protective order. So he's done his due diligence to society and he's scot free. And I don't have a restraining order, but he would have to do something again for me to even fall. And then for restraining orders in this county, every 12 months, you have to reapply for one. It's not indefinite. You have to go, like, getting a restraining order is like a trial that we have to plead and say and beg and tell them why we need it. But he was caught by the police.
That's insane that they wouldn't even give you a permanent protection order for that.
But they told me I let mine lapse because the first one was good for a year. And when you reapply and get another one, it's good for 3 years. He was in jail, he was in prison. So I didn't like keeping up with dates for that. That's something that they should be calling me and telling me you have to be at court at this time and date to get this done.
Hmm.
I let it lapse, so I missed my mark.
Hmm.
It's put on the victims,
Yes,
and they
100%.
call it the justice system. And it's really not a justice system. It's a system that's making money for
Hmm.
those in position of power. I want to know, where did my $75,000 worth of bonds? Whose pockets did that go into?
Right. It
Like,
certainly didn't
what
go
are
to
y'all
your
doing with
dental
that
work.
money? What are y'all doing with that money? Who is it going to? Why was he let out after that violence, that vicious of an attack? So he had priors of violence, and I didn't know. But the
No, how
system,
would you?
but the system knew that he was a violent person, but they let him out continuously on three different bonds.
So he's a repeat offender. Actually almost went through with murder. Like if the cops weren't there to get your body out of the car, you would be dead. So attempted murder.
I know it was
Murder.
attempted murder, but because I had a relationship with him, it was
So okay, so
felony assaults
that's
and first
what
degree.
that's what fucks
It's
with
our fault.
me.
It's our fault.
Right. So you if you're in a relationship with someone, they can't attempt to murder you. Right. Yeah.
And so that's these things, like you were saying, like if we don't use our voice, that's how that power keeps
Yep.
its power in the darkness, in the quietness. I've already almost lost my life, so what more can I fucking lose?
Yeah.
But I'm liberating myself. I'm showing my two girls that we do not have to accept nothing like that,
Right.
and to use your voice
Yes.
and to transmute that pain, that trauma into your purpose and your power.
Yes.
Because we can't stop all this stuff,
Yeah.
but we can speak up and use our stories and our voices and come together and do things like this to share our stories to help someone else who feels like there's no hope.
Yes.
Because we can choose our hearts. I could have let that take me out in life, but I alchemized all that shit and
Hmm.
turned it into what I've turned it into. And I'm the most embodiment version of my highest self that I could be today.
And this is why women are so amazing because we will get knocked down the lowest and come up out of that grave and resurrect ourselves time and time again.
If we
And
choose to.
exactly. And and this is what I say, like women will choose to use their traumas for their purpose.
And that's what we gotta do. That's
It's
power.
how we exactly. And that's how we help connect to each other and how we can help. Because like I didn't okay, like the importance of women telling their stories and just about everything is what educates us and actually helps us to realize,
We're not
wait, am
alone.
I, yes, and am I being abused? Am I, and it does, it's not even just about like relationship violence. Like I remember when I first started sitting in birthing circles and listening to women tell their stories about what goes on in the hospitals. And that's when the reality of systemic racism hit me. Because every time I was in circle listening to women tell their hospital stories, it's like the same story over and over again, the way women are, and I won't go off on a tangent in that, but the way women are treated in the hot. It's literally like a program. And then every single black woman that would share their story, it was always 10 times worse. And it would like it would like it tore me up inside. And so it created this whole other awareness of like what goes on. You know what I mean? And they want us to be quiet, but it's like when there's a group of 25 women and all of a sudden we realize we're all saying the same fucking thing. And then we're being exposed to what it's like with other races in the system and what is there, and it makes it a reality. There's no more of just this like I can ignore all the problems anymore. It makes the problems very real, and then it when you can relate and be like this is it, this is real, we've been gaslit and abused this entire fucking time into thinking this is normal, and it's not.
I was about to say sometimes I think we know it's not normal. That's why
Hmm.
we're the abrasive one.
Right.
I've got fired from jobs from always speaking up for myself or other people. They said, well, Whitley, you just can't keep lashing out on people. Lashing out for speaking up for my boundaries.
Hmm. Yep. They just want you to sit down and be quiet.
I don't conform for anybody.
Right. I don't either. And yeah, it gets you in trouble in this society. But fuck it.
I've been told I'm nobody wants to work with you. It's your mouth. You can't manipulate me and control me. That's
Hmm.
all.
The system hates that.
Not even just it's just people who operate in that type system as well.
Right. I mean, the system is made up of people and they love their programming.
And it's just it's really, really bad. So it's so important, ladies, to step into your power and to have self-worth. Use your strength and find your strength to share your voice, even if it's just writing it down or blogging. You don't have just audio voice recording on your
Hmm.
phone. You don't have to publicly go on a podcast if you're not ready, but work up to it
Yeah.
for sure. But we have to show our children, our youth, because my
Yes.
two girls, I'm their first woman role model.
Yep.
And so I know what I've been through. I do not want neither one of them to go through half of what I
Yep.
the the poverty that I've lived in, the oppression that I deal with, the adversity. And don't get me wrong, I am a black woman, but if you're a white woman here and you're poor, you're just the same.
Hmm.
And it's about the socioeconomic status of of who we are.
Hmm.
It's nobody's supposed to be born in lack.
Right.
Abundance is everyone's birthright.
Hmm.
Like they're charging for air.
I know. I know.
It's crazy. And
Yep.
so we have to find more sustainable ways of living, but
Hmm.
also truth telling,
Yes.
storytelling. That shit that they're trying to erase, that's where our power lies.
Yep, exactly. They want us silent. Like just like you're saying, like they don't you're problematic just because you stand up for yourself. Yeah, that is problematic to a system that is reliant on us not doing that. Like,
And in a system that's not safe for me and my children.
right. Exactly. And this is so from childhood. It's why mothers, like as mothers, we have to be thinking generationally, like how you're saying, because it's ingrained in little girls' brains from infancy about their place and their role and to be quiet, or if you speak up, you're going to get in trouble. And it's like they want you in this little square box so the system can build whatever it wants to build on our backs as long as we're quiet, but they want all the work from us. And as soon as you try to stand up, it topples that foundation. And so it's like they at some point it's so ingrained that you just keep yourself down. They don't even need to do it anymore because the fear is there to speak out. And the gaslighting, you just gaslight yourself now. And it they keep like when you see women that are still actively participating in the system because they aren't aware that like misogyny is actually like ingrained in them and they don't realize it yet. Like,
Or they don't care.
yeah, yeah. And they would rather play the comfortable role than to ruffle the feathers. And so women like us that want to stay wicked and be like, fuck that system, we will open our mouths and we will help pull up other women that want to open their mouths and teach them how to keep yelling from the rooftops if they need to. We don't need to comply to nothing. We don't need to, that's not compliance is going to keep the system the same. And this is what needs to be torn down right now.
We need more women, authentic women who's using their power for purpose and leadership roles of authority. Like the system is always going to be there, but we have to have people like us in those systems.
Hmm.
I mean, I do believe with real effort and time that what we're speaking about can be integrated into those systems, but we have to have people in those systems
Yes.
with those positions to be able to allow that integration.
Yes, I agree. I agree. Um, what, so what did your healing look like after such a traumatic event? I know now you were saying how like your WNC gems like that came out of that. Um, but like just from my situation, like the trauma responses that my body would have, even when like somebody would knock on the door. Like I couldn't like I carried my Glock around with me everywhere. I was always looking over my shoulder. Like I couldn't answer my heart would race for like 3 whole minutes of someone knocking on the door. And I'm just like, do I answer it? Like what if it's him? Like what there was always this fear of everywhere I went. And it took a long time of me healing that to be able to be like, okay, I don't have to like stay strapped all the time. Like I can go to the park and play with my kids and not look over my shoulder. Um, and there was a time, I mean, probably up until like 6 months ago, I wouldn't even like have conversations with men.
Right.
Like wasn't even a thing. Like I don't care how friendly they seemed. It's like men freaked me out. Even my best friend's husband, like it's like I just was scared, you know? So for something so extreme, like how did you even begin to heal from that? And then yeah, like what does that look like now for you?
In the beginning that it happened, you won't believe it. I knew I was meant to do something. It wasn't where I was fearful for my life, but I'm not naive. I know there's people out there who I still need to watch my
Mhm.
back, but I do know that I'm protected. I have faith in God, but my spirituality saved my life. But soon as it happened to me, I did a podcast. I don't it wasn't it was called The Astral View, and
Okay.
I have it on my website. My very first two videos of me like sharing my story, and it was within the first year. So for me, it was easy because I was already when I and to say that predators are out there, I was in a women's group of IOP at the
Okay.
time.
Okay.
And so men prey on weak, vulnerable women. And so I kept going to IOP in my women's group and
What's
people
IOP?
intensive outpatient therapy.
Okay, okay.
So I was in a treatment group for women because I acquired two DWIs after my sister passed in 2016. And so at the time, I was a peer support specialist when I got attacked. But when I got attacked, I knew I was meant to catapult and alchemize more of that. So I am today a North Carolina community health worker,
Okay.
and I've been specialized trained in violence prevention on this like another certification. So my thing is I advocate for all the social detriments of health, not just domestic
Wow.
violence, all of them, because if one of them is lacking, it's a whole
Right.
everything's interconnected.
Exactly.
I've
Exactly. It
lived in
sets
I've lived
up.
in I've lived in poverty public housing my entire life here in Asheville. I
Hmm.
live in Asheville and it happened in Buncombe County. And I feel like they dropped the ball on protecting me as a system.
Hmm.
And I advocated for myself the entire time, the entire time. But that's why I am where I am today because I kept showing up for myself.
Yep.
And so doing healing work as far as therapy, therapy, I since I was 13, it doesn't matter who it is. I even have white men therapists. It's not I'm afraid of men. He was just one man that needs healing. And I
Hmm.
pray that he finds the healing that he needs. I don't think that they are who they'll be forever because everybody has a choice. Everybody has free will. And so I named the business. girls and guys exercise in mindful solutions
Mm-hmm.
because I realized where is these holistic safe spaces for these men who want to change the
Mm-hmm.
patterns of who they've been.
Mm-hmm.
And it's possible if they want to.
Mm-hmm.
But now I use the acronym GEMS as we are generating empowerment through mindful solutions.
Oh, I like that.
So I do all types of collaborating and partnering with other initiatives for racial equity, violence prevention, any work dealing with trauma and healing. And that's
That's
everything that we
amazing.
do.
That's
That's everything
amazing.
that we do. And so I know policy and advocacy is where shit has to be readdressed and advocated for.
Yes.
I don't know if being a politician, but I know that I have to be at those tables one day to get some laws changed and addressed.
Yes.
And so I do maybe see that in the future if I was to be trained and to get into an organization and shown how to do that the correct way. Because at the end of the day, if the laws are still the same, things are going to always
Right.
be what they are.
Right. It's such a huge step to try to like be in the system and like changing it from the inside
That's
because
how
it
it
I
changes.
know, and it's like overwhelming, I feel like, because it's there's so how do you like everything has to change. Like
Forgiveness,
everything has to
forgiveness,
change.
and to know that it's not personal.
Hmm.
Like, as harsh as everything has been in my life, people have been operating out of their trauma.
Hmm.
And people who are bullies are really little hurt kids.
But at the same time, like women aren't out. Like we have a lot of trauma too. We have a ton of trauma
And
from,
we don't we
and we
and
don't go
but
out and, you
some
know,
women do. Some women are the perpetrators. Some men get
in
abused.
comparison to men, it's,
I mean, I get it, but there are women out there who are violent as hell
hmm.
and have abused men, punched men, spit on men, shot at men, blown up their cars. I'm not to say like all women are angels.
I agree. I agree. But
So,
it's just
but for me,
it's
I know that
overwhelming.
men need safe spaces as well. And to change shit, I want to be the first woman who is a survivor of the shit to help those type men heal because I've dealt my father beat on my mother.
Hmm.
I remember mornings my mom telling me she couldn't take me to school because she had black eyes. I'm just lucky and I'm grateful to have the strength to be the generational curse breaker for my family.
Hmm.
I'm not getting much support because people are still operating in their trauma, but I'm doing it for me and my two girls.
Yeah.
And I don't regret anything.
Yeah.
And anything that comes out of my mouth is the truth.
Hmm. Good. Good. That's, I mean, having the weight of like tr of breaking that now so it doesn't repeat, like that's the most important part is just, it's like you heal yourself for the generation beneath you. Like I always like my main thing that I always say is like I want my ceiling to be my children's floor. So it's like I always keep that in mind. Like I just got to see how high I can go so that that's their stepping point, you know? And so it goes for the healing as well. I have two boys. So for me it's like I want I want them to know how like this is not how it should be. This is not how you treat women. And like the stresses that my older one sees me under, like he understands that it's because of the situation I'm now put in due to what happened with his stepfather. So it's like there's at the same time it's like there's this because he's so young yet, but at the same time I'm not going to like sugarcoat shit either. I want him to know the truth of why things are the way they are
You
because I
can't
don't want
shelter
him,
them.
yeah, I don't want him repeating cycles.
Definitely. And it's really important for them to have healthy divine masculines in their life,
Hmm.
role models. Because a woman, that's the thing. Women can't do what men do, and men can't do what women do. So we're
Hmm.
both equal and we are supposed to be partners at the same
Agree.
level. And the
Agree.
system and the programming has made it men over women,
Hmm.
and you conform and you listen to what the fuck I say, but we're supposed to work together
Right. It's side
in
by side.
harmony, in
Exactly.
harmony.
Exactly.
And people, it's just ego,
Hmm.
ego and pride.
Yep. Is there any message or anything if you wanted to give a message to the women listening to this?
You are powerful, you are worthy, you are strong, and you are beautiful, no matter what you've been through. And I just wholeheartedly believe that anything that we've been through, we can alchemize that trauma into triumph. It's just a choice. And that choice is choose your heart. You can choose to stay in the misery, or you can work through the shit. It's hard and painful, but the outcome is so fulfilling and so worth it. Like I'm working on a bottle oil and I'm naming it Liberated Alignment. It's going to be an oil for each chakra in one bottle. And so just there's hope. Nothing is set in stone. Every day that you wake up and have breath in your body, it's a new chance
Hmm.
to share your truth and to show up for yourself.
I love that. And if there's anybody in the Asheville area, if they wanted to reach out to you, how can they do that?
They can find me on Instagram, just like you did, at WNC Gems. I just created a YouTube channel,
Awesome.
uh, WNC Gems, and then I do a lot of community sound healing. I do sound healing, so because that's what I did for myself. I had to heal myself, so I had to
Yeah.
find all types of holistic practices
Yep.
that I could trust and delve into. But sound healing is frequency healing with crystal. I use frosted crystal quartz bowls, and they
Hmm.
correlate to your energy centers, your chakras.
Hmm.
Each energy center and each chakra correlates to an organ system.
Hmm.
So these bowls, the crystal bowl is the most powerful mineral in the kingdom, the mineral kingdom. So they heal us physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. So that's my message is holistic healing. I get that you can work out or I get you can go to counseling, but if you're not feeding that spiritual aspect of
Yeah.
yourself, your essence of who you are, you're just a shell. And it's
Yeah.
not me judging, it's just my observation of what I was.
Yep.
So we have to pour into our spiritual bodies as much as possible, even if it's just waking up, sitting with yourself, lighting a candle, lighting an incense, everything done with intention. So my life is a living embodiment of a prayer
Yes.
because I've survived the worst. And so I have no fear because I've already been through the worst.
Yep.
There's nothing but up from here. But follow me on Instagram, follow me on my YouTube. Please subscribe, like, comment, share. This is just the beginning. And I'm so grateful for
Yes.
this opportunity because I can only imagine what is going to come out of this.
Yeah.
Like
I'm
I'm
really
getting chills
grateful you
just
came. Yeah,
talking
I
about it.
know. Since we started talking, I keep getting chills. I'm really grateful that you came on here and even your boldness of being yeah, I healed and I'm back out there. I don't give a shit. That helps me. It's like it helps me and I'm really grateful for the strong female friends that I have and one of them who actually helped me during that whole situation. Like I remember telling her all the time like where is my voice? Like why like I used to be like this badass like I don't give a fuck like and I couldn't like I it's like I couldn't even talk and like she was my voice. Like she was my it's gonna make me emotional. She came to my house and like did so much for me when like I felt like I couldn't even like fucking move my arms. Like I was just so like petrified in that like deer in the headlights fear. And her her big mouth and her badass attitude literally is like what got me through that when I couldn't do it for myself. So like having like a woman like you that is like the first interview for this series is like
Setting the
it's
bar for
so
you,
yeah,
honey.
girl. It's just so good because it's like as I finally am like gaining that back and it's like and you are the embodiment of that. So it's like it's just this is another reason it's like as women we share energy and it's like so like that one part it speaks to
Like
me
I
so
don't know you, but
much
I feel
like
like you're my sister.
I
Like
know exactly and it's like there's just so much that we can learn from each other and I'm just so grateful that you came on here and shared everything that's going on and just your
we are
energy.
we are the voice for the voiceless. There's plenty of women who did not make it.
Yep.
There's plenty of women sitting in silence.
Yep.
When they see this and they see Earth, they won't limit themselves.
Yep. Yep. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I truly, truly appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. It was an honor.
Yes. Want to be part of an online community filled with other badass women supporting each other on their wicked journey? Check out my online community, the Wise Woman Network. We have classes, courses, online community meetings, and more. Activate that sleeping goddess within and unleash your divine power. Join me today on a free trial to all my listeners. Link is in the show notes. I'll see you there.